Well, after a dry day of racing here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, we're about to do something a little different for the drivers here in the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship. With the rain that came onto the circuit earlier in the day, we had a wet weather qualifying run for Indy Pro 2000, and although the track looks like it is starting to dry up a little bit, I'm told that it will be a wet start at this point here. We'll get a further update from the race directors, but I think we're going to go with a wet weather start here right now. 23 drivers will take to this racetrack. Should be very, very interesting to see how things pan out. As I'm looking right now on the start-finish line, and you can see it here as well, there is a bit of dry patches coming on here. This could be very interesting in terms of how the tire is able to manage it. As Parker had said, with the wet weather tires, the treaded wet weather tires, a lot softer compound as well, less actual surface area touching the asphalt. And so that means that the tires will degrade significantly quicker. So we'll see how things play out here, whether or not they'll have to come back in to put on dries. We'll see how it all plays out. But right now, what I was told from the race direction side is that we will start on wet tires. 23 drivers set to go. Let's have a look at the grid right now, as we do have some time before we go green flag racing. Drivers have not yet worked their way out onto the racetrack. Ken Picaro, the number 16 for Miller Vinatieri Motorsport, will start in the 23rd position, while on row 11, Nathan Bird on the outside in the number 20 for Legacy Autosport. Nathan, such a great story, running so many different kinds of race cars. Just recently at Lucas Oil Raceway, ran both a USAC Midget and a USAC Silver Crown car, getting some time behind the wheel of the Legacy Autosport USF 2000 car as well. Raced at Mid-Ohio with us, his second Road to Indy weekend here, and he's been finding speed throughout the entire weekend. Bird starting in the 22nd spot. He'll start alongside another driver who spends some time in sprint cars, and that is Trey Burke from Joe Dueling Autosport. Burke in the number 63, starting in 21st. Row number 10 on the outside from New Zealand, Peter Vodanovic for J. Howard Driver Development in the number 9. He'll start in the 20th spot. Alongside him out of Illinois for Ignite Autosport with Cape Motorsports, Evan Stammer in the 3, starting in 19th. Moving now to row number 9 on the outside, the single-car family-run team of Michael Myers in the number 42. Myers, again, the driver out of Litson, Indiana. Good to have him here with us, and we'll be back in 2022 as well. Michael has been getting quicker and quicker with every session. Ran with us a number of times last year, but a driver who's worked his way out of ATV enduro racing and doesn't have that background that many people have. So right now we'll see him, Myers, starting in the 18th spot, getting quicker and quicker, as I said, every event. Alongside him for J. Howard Driver Development, Bajoy Garg in that number 6, starting in the 17th spot. Moving now to row number 8 on the outsides, as cars finally starting to come out here onto the pit lane. It will be Thomas Nepvu, the driver out of Quebec, Canada for Cape Motorsports, a winner at Road America earlier this year. Nepvu in the number 2, starting 16th. And on the inside, in the number 34 machine, out of Princeton, New Jersey, it is Dylan Christie, home state driver. Christie in the number 34 for Turn 3 Motorsport, starting in the 15th spot. We'll go now to row number 7, starting 14th on the outside. Last year's winner in the Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series, Eli Navarro for D-Force Racing, the rookie in the number 1, starting in the 14th spot. Inside of that row, the biggest mover yesterday from 12th up to 9th. He'll start 13th today. Out of New Zealand, Billy Fraser in the number 91 for Exclusive Autosport. Moving now to row number 6, Christian Brooks back there in 12th spot. He likes the idea of a wet race here now to give an opportunity for him to move forward. Brooks, who comes in sitting in 4th in points. Brooks in the 44 for Exclusive Autosport will launch from the outside of row number 6, P12. Inside of that row, driver we've seen on the podium earlier this year at Road America, Spike Kohlbecker in the Ignite Autosport, Cape Motorsports entry, the number 5, Kohlbecker starting in 11th. Into the top 10 now. On the outside of the front, row number 5, the number 99 for Force Indy. It is Miles Rowe in that number 99 out of New York, New York. Rowe starting in 10th. Inside, Christian Weir, only his second event here on the road to Indy, and he has been unbelievably impressive for Turn 3 Autosport. Christian Weir in that number 32 machine out of Naperville, Illinois. He will start in the 9th spot. We'll move now up to the driver who has won a couple of times already this season, and that is Yuvan Sundaramurthy in the number 22 for Pabst Racing. Sundaramurthy will start 8th spot outside of row number 4, and on the inside, another race winner from earlier this year, Barber Motorsports Park. Prescott Campbell, the number 11 for D-Force Racing, will start in the 7th position. Moving now to row number 3 on the outside, an impressive young rookie in the top rookie qualifier as well for this particular race. Jace Denmark in the number 23 out of Scottsdale, Arizona for Pabst Racing. Denmark starting in the 6th spot. Alongside him, a driver that was on the podium here last year at Mount Kisco, New York for Turn 3 Autosport. It is Josh Green in the number 33. We'll go now to row number 2 on the outside. Josh Pearson out of Wilsonville, Oregon in the Pabst Racing number 24. He's going to start 4th inside of that row. The point leader right now coming in with a 34-point lead. That is Kiko Porto in the number 12. 23 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Off pole will be Nolan Siegel out of Palo Alto, California, third year in the season, in the series rather. Made his debut in Indy Pro 2000 last weekend at Worldwide Technology Raceway. That D-Force driver will start on the outside of row 1. But the driver getting the pole position that he so badly needed and trying to work his way back into championship contention. He's second place in points, 34 back. Michael D'Orlando out of Hartsdale, New York, qualifying on pole in the Cape Motorsports machine. Great qualifying run, a 116.975. New track record here as well at New Jersey Motorsports Park for the USF 2000 category. D'Orlando and Siegel will be on row number 1. Porto and Pearson, row 2. Green and Denmark, row 3. Campbell and Sundaramurthy, row 4. Weir and Rowe will round out your top 5. Row 6 will have Kohlbecker and Brooks. Row 7, Fraser and Navarro. Row 8, Christie and Nepvu. Row 9, Garg and Myers. Row 10, Stammer and Vodanovic. Row 11, Burke and Bird. And on row number 12 will be Vaccaro. Those of you down pit lane, I'm told the PA not very high right now. I don't know what to tell you. We'll see what we can get that dialed in and get that PA going once again. So, folks, I'm about getting ready to fire things up here right now as we get set to go. And, again, all of our drivers set to go here, 23 ready to go, and let's fire things up. Drivers, start your engines. Not quite sure why the PA went so low there. And, of course, me making the call up here, they needed to hear the PA for to be able to fire the engine. So, not sure why the PA went down, but we'll try to figure that out for those who are trackside here. And, again, ready to go racing with USF 2000. Parker Thompson's joined me back here in the booth. Parker, this is going to be a very interesting start. Obviously, we know that the run through 1 and 2 in the dry is obviously the most crucial part of this race to settle into where you're going to be. All bets are off now, though, with a wet racetrack, but it is drying quite a bit, which I find very interesting out here. What do you think? Yeah,
right up front of our booth here, you can see the dry lines forming down the front straightaway. So it almost makes it tougher, Rob.
Yeah.
If it's full wet, it's kind of easy for drivers to figure out that line in the wet. But now drivers can really get creative. They've got to find the water. So you'll see guys actually weaving down the front straight to get those Cooper tires wet. The reason for that, they got to cool them down. And then what's going to make this start really interesting is you've got championship 2 rivals back-to-back to each other.
I know.
So you've got Michael D'Orlando second in the championship, starting P1, and you've got Kiko Porto starting 3rd. I mean, that is a great you've got, the lion and the fox
like
right there.
Exactly that. The hunter and the hunted, right?
Exactly.
I like this a lot. This is going to be interesting because, as Parker had said, if the track starts drying up significantly like it has here, these tires are eventually going to wear out pretty quickly, potentially start shredding off some of that rubber. And drivers, as Parker said, are going to be searching all over for wet parts of the racetrack to cool those tires down. The cooler they are, the longer they'll last. And I think that we are in for a very interesting race. I'm not sure what the approach is. I think that the drivers should be able, once we go racing, to come in to put on slicks if they want as well. So we may see some interesting action from the teams as well. I don't know whether or not they could potentially go red and bring them in, or yellow, whatever it may be. But
off the
we'll
top
see.
of my head,
what do you think?
In all my years that I've raced on the road to Indy, you'll only go red to actually go back to rains.
Okay.
If it starts raining and everyone's on slicks. It is at the drivers and team's discretion who comes in for those slick Cooper tires.
Yeah, it takes so long to change the tires, though. I just don't know whether or not it would be the right call. Very interesting to me, intriguing.
Let's think about it. It's a minute 15 around here in the dry. Minute 16.9 was the fastest time in qualifying. I would say wet time, you had 10 seconds on that in the first couple laps. So if you've got a guy, if you're in 10th to 15th, I would go, okay, that's a minute 30. Can we get down through pit lane and do a tire change in a minute 30? Probably not. You're probably going to go a lap down. But you get that yellow, it's close.
Yeah, you're right. This is going to be really interesting, folks. We'll see what happens here. And again, drivers getting ready to dial things in. We don't see them lining up quite yet. I'm assuming maybe one lap around the track. I'm not seeing the drivers line up. Nope, pace car's going to stay out there for another circuit around here. maybe giving the drivers an opportunity to get a feel for it.
Yeah, sight laps, Rob. I mean, that's the big thing is find out where the puddles are, if any. Find out what your first couple lines are going to be on those first 2 laps.
Again, drivers coming down the front straightaway here. Finally coming through turns number 11 and 12. Yep, 1 to go. We'll go green next time by. And this racetrack has dried up significantly. So hold on, folks. These drivers are going to have to really take care of these tires. If they thought the tire deg was bad in the dry, wait till they have tire deg on wet tires in the dry.
Well, and if you're watching, sure, they're maybe weaving back and forth a little bit, but nothing compared to what they would be doing in the dry. I mean, everybody, I think, has been told, hey, you've got to make those Cooper tire wet tires last 25 laps.
Yeah. 20 laps for these drivers, 25 for Indy Pro 2000.
Okay,
so just
perfect.
20, I believe just a 20 lap. But yeah, indeed, 20 laps here for USF 2000. We'll give them a 5 laps off as opposed to Indy Pro 2000. This should be very, very intriguing, the opening lap, of course, and we're going to find out what kind of lap times we lay down. As Parker said, we were probably about 10 seconds off in the wet, rather. We'll see how quick these cars are when we get going, because it may be only 5 or 6 seconds, if not even that.
Well, and we've had some time since Indy Pro 2000 qualifying, so I'm thinking, you're probably going to be closing in on that 5-second mark. But, there's kind of that chart where it gets too dry and the tires actually don't perform. There's that happy medium, right?
So field getting set up now as they work their way through out of turn number 5 and through to turn 6. We'll see the pace car duck on off as it comes out of turn number 11, get a little speeded up and get away from the field, and it'll go into the hands of your pole sitter, Michael D'Orlando, in the Cape Motorsports number 4, Nolan Siegel alongside him. And then we'll have Kiko Porto and Josh Pearson on row number 2, Josh Green and Jace Denmark row 3.
Another interesting note, Rob, and I'm not sure how much it's on the drivers' minds, but obviously second fastest time in qualifying or fastest time in this race will set the grid for race 3. So that maybe answers your question, too, if anybody wants to come put new Cooper tire slicks on during the race.
That's a possibility as well. They did have dry qualifying this morning. I would say definitely if it was an Indy Pro 2000, they would have guys come into pit lane, but we'll see what happens here. So drivers going to line things up. The pace car will get that jump away from the field. D'Orlando will take them down out of turn number 11 through 12, and we will go racing for the second time here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Kiko Porto, the winner yesterday, stretching that lead to 34 points over D'Orlando. This is Michael's opportunity to fight back, however, and gain some points before we head to Mid-Ohio in about a month's time. Field coming out of turn number 12, lining up nicely. Waiting for him to spool things up. Green, green, green. Launch for D'Orlando. Working his way down into turn number 1. 3, 4 wide coming down in. A little look to the inside there for Kiko Porto. He's down to the bottom. Outside still is Siegel trying to hold the spot, and he does. Siegel able to hold it. You're not going to see as many wild lines around the racetrack as it is, as we said, pretty dry. There is a dry line. Again, though, drivers will have to do what they can to potentially find some wet. These tires are going to degrade very, very quickly. First time out of turn number 3 over to 4. D'Orlando with the lead. Siegel slotting into second spot. Third is Kiko Porto. Fourth is Josh Green. So a good start for Green as well. Started 5th, able to get that 1 spot early. Parker, this opening lap is going to give us an indication of what we're going to get. They're running the straight race line all over. A little bit of wet coming out of turn number 5. Thankfully cooling those tires off for the first time really in this lap.
Yeah, Michael D'Orlando going out and getting the job done. We've got a car off back there. It looked like turn 3. No, Billy Fraser.
Billy Fraser off in turn number 6. Able to bring it back on, though. Good job for Fraser to hold on. Not sure if he lost a position or not.
Going to be real interesting, these guys now finding at speed what these tires can do with half wet, half dry. Obviously, for the most part, it looks like everybody's on a dry line around the track, but you can see already they're sliding around. It's greasy, Usually that complex section there coming out of 10 is an easy flat.
One driver to pit lane, I think. I think someone's come to pit lane already. 1, 2, 3 cars from deeper in the field coming into pit lane. This is exciting. Here we go. We talked about this. Turn 3 Motorsports bringing in at least, I think, both of their cars. Yeah, 2 of their cars coming in. One of the Jay Howard driver development cars into pit lane as well. So
boys are on the clock. A minute 30. A minute 30 to get it done. I think that's a great call. Now, turn 3 to double stack. I mean, that's
Yeah, no kidding.
Usually we're watching IndyCar to see a double stack pit stop.
Going to work in a big way here now. Will it be enough? Are they able to get out? They're very potential to lose that lap, but maybe not. They're doing a great job here so far. Rear's already going on. Doing the best you can to get these cars done and back out onto the racetrack, potentially not going down a lap. But even if you did, they're going to be 10 seconds faster, likely.
It is going to be close. We've got the leaders coming through 7-8 right now.
126 flat for D'Orlando opening lap. 10 seconds.
There we go. We got the first one.
The
number 9.
Yeah, the number 9 rolling out here to get things underway. That is Peter Vodanovic. Also Dylan Christie in the 34. He's going out on dries. They're still working, I believe, on Christian Weir's machine to get it done. Weir's going to head out here as well.
It's going to be close for Weir here coming down to turn 1. This is going to be exciting, Rob. We're going to have him come out right in front of the leaders.
Oh, indeed he will. It's going to be a long rundown. He'll go down a lap, but he's going to be fast. He's going to be 10 seconds faster than these guys.
You know what? It's going to be close. Well, no.
No, they're definitely going to roll by, but he's going to be so much faster than them. Pass a little further back there. Big move down to the inside. That is Josh Pearson, I believe, scrapping it out, trying to get inside Josh Green.
Whoa, we got a car off as Weir comes out of pit lane. We had one of the D-Force cars off.
Yeah, Weir, of course, stacking them up a bit. Those are cold tires, so he's going to have to bring them up to speed. He's gone a lap down. Vodanovic did not, and neither did Dylan Christie. We've got ourselves an interesting move here now. Drivers can see that they can come in depending on where you are. If you're running in the top 5, I almost roll the dice.
I would
consider roll the dice to try to come in.
Well, you can't pass. You get that arrow wash, and it's going to be really tough. I wouldn't say top 5, but definitely, I mean, right in that pack there, 8th back to 14th. I'd say you roll the dice.
Yeah, being told that one of the drivers potentially losing a front wing might have been Yuvan Sundaramurthy, so we'll check that with that incident that we had coming out of turn number 1 and 2. Again, Vodanovic and Dylan Christie, the drivers not going down a lap. We're down a lap, and you got to figure he's going to be able to roll them down in turn number 1 as soon as he gets heat built into these tires. 124.8 for Michael D'Orlando. Nobody else laying out tires.
Wow. Black flag for number 9. A black flag just got put out for Peter Vodanovic.
Like to know what's going on with Vodanovic there, why they flagged for Vodanovic. Interesting. I'll send a message. But
perfect. We got to fight for the lead, Rob. We got to stay on top of it.
Ken Picaro into pit lane as well. Indeed, battle for the lead, as you said. More drivers coming into pit lane. There is Yuvan Sundaramurthy, lost the front wing. Good opportunity to put a wing on, get some tires on that. We'll see if Sundaramurthy gets back out.
Well, and let's see if Kiko got the job done. He was side by side with D'Orlando in turn 1. We'll get back to the leaders here. Kiko Porto in the lead of the race.
Kiko Porto has gone to the lead.
Where's
Not sure what happened there with D'Orlando, indeed.
He's fallen back. Wow, Kiko Porto, both the D-Force cars up front, and then you've got Josh Green in what looks like 3rd. Unbelievable mayhem here for race 2 of USF 2000. I apologize, folks. My distraction.
There's a lot going on right now.
There's a ton going on.
I got to believe that the guys that have went to the wets, or the dries rather, have a better opportunity to pull away. We'll look at some lap times here. Peter Vodanovic, we'll see what kind of lap times he gets, as well as Dylan Christie, trying to find out why we saw that black flag being shown here in the stand for Vodanovic. We'll try to get an update on that. Here comes Dylan Christie. Vodanovic is in the pit lane.
Yeah.
So Vodanovic comes to pit lane with the black. Not sure what happened to Peter. We'll try to figure that out. 2 stops, not good for him, obviously. He'll now go down a lap, but still could be able to come back out and work his way into the top 10. Field now running lap times. Let's get an update here.
Rob,
Kiko Porto, 126.
We've got to talk about D'Orlando falling back to looks like 3rd on our timing screens. No,
he's continuing.
Okay. He's 4th. That's
he's
what
4th
I thought.
now
Josh
for D'Orlando.
Green, 3rd.
Let's have a look as they work their way down through turn number 3 right now, trying to update you on what's going on. We're kind of obviously focusing a bit on the speed. We'll see Dylan Christie as he has gone to the dries. Only driver to move to the dries and not get a penalty so far. Weir's out there as well. He's a lap down. Being told right now that the number 9 of Vodanovic, they didn't get the wheel pin on. You have to have that safety wheel pin on to make sure it doesn't come off. So a penalty for Vodanovic. He came in. They got the wheel pin on. He's back onto the racetrack. Tires out here as well, potentially, for the number 99 of Miles Rowe. Let's have a look at lap times. Still a 125 for Christie, so maybe not quite at the point where those drives are going to be that much better. Drivers still working their way around this track.
You can see them starting to slide around. It's just getting greasy with those Cooper tire wets on the dry surface. I'm surprised I don't see more guys moving around to find water. You know, that's one
Agreed.
thing. Yeah.
The only place we're seeing the spray right now, Parker, is out of 5.
Right.
You know,
You've
that's
got
the
to
only
find
time.
the water. So we'll see Kiko Porto. He's driven a few races in the wet, so let's see if he starts finding that wet. Now, we've lost Nolan Siegel. Nolan Siegel back to 3rd.
So, yeah, Siegel into the 3rd spot right now. Josh Green potentially up into 2nd.
And gaining on Kiko Porto.
Exactly. On the podium last year, Green putting some pressure here on Porto.
Wow, right up his gearbox.
Michael Myers having a good battle here further back as well with Thomas Nepvu. But here they come down into turn number 3 once again. Drivers really working out on that, on the rumbles on the outside of the racetrack. Not wet anymore, so not quite as slippery. But as you said, with these particular tires, and there's
Josh
a move for the
Green.
lead. Coming down into turn number 5, book it. New leader. Josh Green's gone to P1 for turn 3 Autosport.
Wow.
The turn 3 Motorsport driver, P1.
So let's think championship here. Kiko Porto, he's got to settle into rhythm. He knows Michael D'Orlando's behind him. Michael back now in what looks like 5th and getting pressured for 5th. Looks like Josh Pearson, I believe. No, Jace Denmark.
Jace Denmark, the rookie, having a good
Michael
run.
D'Orlando.
Nicely done for Jace Denmark, P5. So checking out how things dial in here midway through. We're only 6 laps in. Peter Vodanovich rolling back out there on the number 6 machine. And here comes the 34, trying to pick the time up here of Dylan Christie. We'll see what he gets for lap number 6. He was a 1:23.9 last time by, 3 seconds faster than the leaders, 72 seconds back in total. Keep an eye on his fast lap when he comes back around, 1:23.8, so another 3 seconds faster.
Rob, I apologize. That was Christie going by the leaders,
driving
by the leaders.
Good pickup.
I am so sorry.
That was probably Christian Weir.
Christian Weir.
So there you go, folks. Confusion there on the turn 3 car. We thought that was Josh Green. It was Christian Weir on the dry tire. So a better indication, actually, of how good those tires are.
So, folks, Josh Green still in 3rd.
That's what happens when I look away from the screen for 1 second. Give you the baton. And
yeah, no, I totally dropped it, Rob.
No, it's fine. It's awesome. Porto still leads. Siegel 2nd, Green 3rd, D'Orlando 4th, and Denmark 5th. But that was a good indication, the fact that Christian Weir able to work his way through everybody. Probably fell back to – came in about 6th. A lap down, but he is back on the lead lap as well. So Christian Weir, a 1:24.1, 1:23.8 for Dylan Christie, now 72 seconds behind on the lead lap.
But, folks, that's not the important part. The important part is if they're in front of the leaders, if a caution comes out and they're on the lead lap, that's what will get them their lap back. And then that's when it's exciting. We're essentially waiting for a caution now for those guys on slick Cooper tires.
A lot of action happening on the racetrack here as they work their way out of turn number 11 and 12. Once again, Kiko Porto is the leader, I believe.
Yeah, he is.
Waiting for Porto. Here he is here coming by us at start-finish. Kiko Porto in the 12. The D-Force cars running 1 and 2. Then it's Josh Green in 3rd.
We got a battle here.
Yeah. Look at that coming down here. Jace Denmark holding the inside. Got to stay to the bottom of the racetrack.
Whoa,
around the outside goes Prescott Campbell.
Textbook.
Side by side. Oh, Campbell with a big slide through turn number 2. Can't quite get it done as comes into 2.
And Miles Rowe's in there as well, it looks like.
Miles Rowe took advantage of it and I think got the spot away.
Yeah,
Miles Rowe moving now up to P5, taking advantage of Prescott Campbell. I would say they're probably going to potentially call a blocking warning there on Denmark. Went down to the bottom of the racetrack, came back out to set up for the corner. You can't do that, and I would bet that's a blocking warning for Denmark.
No, I'd have to agree with you there. It's unfortunate. Prescott had the move done. He just took too much of that exit curb, and the car looked like it high-centered, didn't get the drive off, and didn't get the job done, and then Miles Rowe's there to capitalize.
Little note coming down from pit lane and potentially getting a little drizzly again down on pit lane. That came from Logan Knapp from Elite Engines. That could make things very, very interesting for us. And again, watching the lap times of a guy like Dylan Christie now down to he's doing 1:24. He's only 3 seconds faster. He's not been able to get down to the track, not good enough for him to get that 6-7 seconds that he needs.
But again, it's a strategy play. It's not for. I don't think they were ever expecting to fully lap the field. I think what they were expecting was, hey, if we get a caution, we are on for a win.
Yeah, that's very true. But we'll keep an eye on those lap times still. As Kiko Porto again down into turn number 1, holding the lead. And those tires, those wet, treaded Cooper tires are going to be going and struggling for sure. Big move again for Billy Fraser. He's moved his way up to 10th. Fraser started back at, I believe, 13th. He's up to 10th already. Michael D'Orlando down to 11th now.
Wow.
D'Orlando in a championship battle down to the 11th position. This is going to help Kiko Porto stretch out even more. There is a possibility, I think, for Porto, depending on what happens for D'Orlando, to clinch it today. Clinch the championship. Only 66 points up for grabs at Mid-Ohio.
Rob, it's been a roller coaster of emotions for me, because yesterday I'm going, wow, Kiko dominant, he's got it. Then you see Michael D'Orlando come swinging this morning, new track record, new confidence, on pole. And I didn't think we'd ever be thinking that Kiko was going to clinch this weekend after that.
I said the same thing. Miles Rowe having a great run, P5.
That's got to be one of his best runs this year.
I think it very much will be his best run, yeah. Let's have a quick look at the performance chart provided by Diane Swintel from the series here about Miles Rowe. Yeah, I think 6th was his best result at Barber Motorsports Park. So, yeah, good opportunity for Rowe.
Awesome. And he's in the battle there. You know, he's not, 4th isn't out of in earshot either. He's right there.
Leaders working their way down here to turn number 1 again. Yeah, you can see that battle. I think Rowe trying to put some pressure now on Jace Denmark. That's 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're coming into turn number 1. Denmark, Rowe, and right behind them, Prescott Campbell. Christian Brooks now up into the 6th spot. Good run for Christian. Started 12th. He's moved up 6 spots already.
Yeah, he needs a run. I don't know what happened in qualifying for him, but definitely getting that exclusive auto sport machine back up at the top where it belongs.
Dylan Christie, 1:23.5, another 3 seconds faster than the leader. Still 10 laps to go in this. Not going to be enough for Dylan unless he finds a bunch more speed, but he's still working his way forward here right now, trying to close up on the tail of the grid who stayed out there on the dries, or on the wets, rather.
Well, and folks, for watching at home, you watch that. It was Weir. Have we confirmed that? It was Weir that went through the field?
Christian Weir is the driver who worked his way through the field. Currently runs 20th, indeed, on the lead lap.
You know, you see all these guys, even when they're on all-rain tires, it's tough to pass on this track, right? Because they have the same grip level, and then they have the same aero deficiency when they're behind one another. We got a nice little battle here. Juven back with a wing on. Were those
fight down into 1? I think that's Christian Weir potentially with him as well. Leaders, though, coming out of the final corner on the racetrack, back on start-finish again. Nolan Siegel looking to get that victory. Has not yet scored a win in Road to Indy action. Would love to get one done. Putting some pressure on his teammate, Kiko Porto. They're out to a 0.7 of a second lead now. Christian Brooks up to 7th position. Still about 6 seconds behind that next group with his Denmark, Rowe, and Campbell. Christie still turning 1:23.2s. Again, over 2 seconds faster than the leaders, but so far back after that stop. We'll see whether or not these tires continue to degrade. Only into the second half of the race here, 9 laps remaining. Track's front straight's dry completely, other than the inside of the racetrack where it's just some damp spots, otherwise fully dry.
And I think, honestly, folks, that's why you find drivers not finding wet, is because there's not anything to find out there.
You're probably right. And you have to go so far offline. Like, you could potentially get some here, coming out of 6 over to 7, diving to the inside, but we've seen nobody do that either. I'm surprised no one's at least make that dive down to potentially cool those tires off a little bit.
No, and Rob, we're going to have to watch the fall off, because now is about the time where the tires start to really degrade, and hopefully that gives us a bit of an interesting race here for the last 5-10 laps.
That's true. We're kind of trying to maybe manufacture a little bit of excitement here. It was obviously significantly wet for qualifying for Indy Pro 2000. Not surprising that our race director elected to go to the wet tires. But these tires are going to be garbage when we're done here. That is for certain. And again, I'm waiting for those lap times to go up a couple seconds as well, and potentially seeing Christie's come down. He's down to a 1:22.2 now. Yeah, here's some drivers finally coming down the front straightaway trying to get a little bit of cooling.
But there's nothing there.
Right.
Nothing at all. Something we'll note, a little battle. I'm not sure if it'll heat up or not, but it looks like Jace Denmark and Josh Green are going to, the last 8 laps of this race are going to go to battle for that last podium spot.
That's quite interesting as well. You're right, to see whether or not he can close up there. Leader Kiko Porto, last time by 1.2 seconds, trying to back up that victory from yesterday. 360 points as they run on the racetrack, 306 for Michael D'Orlando, a 54-point difference. He'll need to gain 13 points tomorrow. If he goes up a further 13 tomorrow, he'll be able to clinch.
Oh.
66 points is all you can get at Mid-Ohio. So if he ends up being 67 or more points up after the race tomorrow, Kiko Porto will clinch the championship here in the USF 2000 program. And along with that, the scholarship to move into Indy Pro 2000 next year.
Okay, here we go. It looks like Jace Denmark is right there now on Josh Green. And Miles Rowe is not too far off the podium either. So
Prescott Campbell there as well.
We'll get our camera guy on this little battle because this looks like it's heating up.
Yep.
This is textbook right here. He pulls him down to the inside of the track. Nice. Outside, 2 cars over. Oh, almost. But now Miles Rowe's there to capitalize.
Miles Rowe trying to go to the bottom. He's going to throw it to the inside of turn number 2. They're side by side. Rowe to the inside. Denmark to the outside.
Still side
Denmark
by
trying
side.
to hold him. A little bit of a reprieve for Josh Green as the 2 drivers behind him battling it out. Jace Denmark and Miles Rowe, a couple of rookies. Where do they come out?
Miles Rowe.
Rowe with the spot.
Rowe with the spot up to 4th and pace for 3rd here. This is going to be interesting. Josh Green looks like that turn 3 motorsport car's fallen off a bit. Going to be an interesting last 5 laps here.
Best run of the season for Miles Rowe has now worked his way into 4th, trying to get that Force Indy number 99 onto the podium, putting the pressure on Josh Green. It was Jace Denmark who tried to make the pass, not able to make it stick, and Rowe able to go down the bottom of the track.
Wow, Denmark falling back. I wonder if any contact they made had damage to Denmark's car. Obviously falling back now even further to Prescott Campbell.
Yeah, Prescott, I think, was able to get by in there, Parker.
Yeah, no, I do think so.
So maybe move Prescott Campbell to 5th, and then we'll be Denmark back to 6th.
Look at the pace of Rowe. He's right there now, up on 3rd.
Could be a good run out of the
This is
corner
going to
here.
be it right here, folks.
Miles Rowe lining him up.
Let's see if he does it. Pull him down to the bottom, Miles.
Staying to the top of the route.
He's not quite there, but he's pulling him down. This is it. Come on, Miles.
Miles Rowe to the inside.
Oh,
Trying
not
to go
quite.
to the outside now.
And Green comes back on him. I tell
Green,
you what.
That's a block.
Yeah, that's a block.
That's a 100% block on Josh Green there. You get down to the bottom of the racetrack. You're not allowed to come back out to the racing line. And I'm sure that the race director, Joel Miller, having a look at that. There's a battle further back there as well between, I believe, Billy Fraser and Eli Navarro. That is for the final spot inside the top 10 right now.
Wow, Miles Rowe right there shadowing. You can't even tell those two apart when they come over the crest.
Listen, the confusion of this race weekend continues for me.
Are you kidding me?
What are you jumping on?
No, okay.
No,
I thought we were calling the wrong podium battle.
The race is this afternoon. I said that Kiko Porto could potentially clinch it tomorrow.
Oh.
It's today. It's Sunday.
Well, folks, it's an off one here for Parker and Rob in the booth, as you can tell. We're flustered.
Well, this is not normally what we have. Normally, we would have another race alongside IndyCar. So it is actually this afternoon. It feels like it's Saturday, but it's really Sunday. And so this afternoon, Kiko Porto can clinch. Porto, Siegel, Green, Rowe, Campbell, now your top 5.
Look at this, Rowe, right on Green's gearbox. Right on his gearbox coming out of the X810.
And you know the warning probably came in from race control saying you can't do that block move. If you're going to go to the bottom, you got to stay there. This will be the opportunity.
Oh, this is it here.
Rowe, right with him again. Green goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Josh Green right to the bottom. He goes back to the top. Here comes Rowe to the inside into turn number 1. Book it. He's through. Miles Rowe to P3.
You don't see many moves to the inside, Rob.
No, fantastic drive there from Miles Rowe. Green came down to the inside a little bit, went back out to the racing line. Rowe able to go to the inside. Miles Rowe is flying here right now. He may be one of the fastest drivers on the racetrack. We'll see what the gap is back. He was only 3.9 seconds back. There's still 5 laps remaining. Does Miles Rowe have a race car to win here today in New Jersey?
I tell you what, 5 laps to go.
Dylan Christie still turning lap times right around the 1:23.1s. He's about 6 seconds faster than Evan Stammer last time by. He may get at least 1 or 2 spots.
And look at this battle for 4th going on. Josh Green bottlenecking. Inside, outside, across. What is that, Jace Denmark?
That was Prescott Campbell from the inside of the track to the outside of the track, and Jace Denmark, like you said, had to lock it up. Almost contact going into turn number 7.
Wow.
So, again, watching Kiko Porto. This is now when we start looking at lap times, because look at Miles Rowe closing up now on Nolan Siegel. Wow. Rowe, the fastest driver on the racetrack. We're going to have the gap here. Miles Rowe up on the wheel. Look at the gaggle fight for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So, here we go. Rowe getting a good run here on Nolan Siegel. Again, down to the bottom, goes to 33.
And now that's the fight. That's Verdanovic on new tires, on slicks. He's getting around in this fight. I bet you Josh doesn't even know he's not battling with Peter.
Yeah, because Peter Verdanovic a lap down as he's scrapping it out here right now.
Oh, man.
Trying to get his way back through here.
And, folks, that's why we love USF 2000. These drivers, they don't even know who they're battling. They know it's another car on the track, and they're going after it.
4 laps remaining. Miles Rowe just went fastest, a 124.605, quicker by over a half a second from Kiko Porto. He's only 3.3 seconds back with 4 laps remaining. Rowe going to go to work on Siegel now for second. Same goes back. Josh Green still holding off and challenging Prescott Campbell and Jace Denmark.
Wow, don't count Miles out for the win here.
You can see Verdanovic came through, then it's Green, then it's Campbell, then Denmark. So Peter Verdanovic able to get clear of them on those new tires significantly quicker. Yeah, he did a 122.2 last time by 3 seconds faster.
Yeah, and he's getting fought like it was for position.
Well, you hope he's not going to get close enough to potentially battle for the race win here right now. Miles Rowe's by.
Yeah,
Miles Rowe's into second.
By.
Miles Rowe to second in the number 99. Hold up for this one. Miles Rowe into second spot.
Rob, I just got caught. I was looking into Miles Rowe to see if he's got slick tires on. That's how fast he is.
No doubt. And here's that fight as well further back. That's for 5th and 6th with Prescott Campbell and Jace Denmark. But Miles Rowe potentially with the pace to close on the leader. This is fun stuff to watch, I'll tell you. Here's your top 10 right now with 3 to go. Porto, Rowe, Siegel, Green, and Campbell. Brooks runs 7th, Pearson 8th, Kohlbecker 9th, Navarro in 10th, and Fraser 11th.
So now the question, Rob, let's look on that chart. How much faster was Miles than Kiko last time by?
0.7 of a second
and
quicker.
We've got 2.5 laps left.
And he's 2.6 back. He's going to get the draft.
Yeah, and 2.1. I'm calculating it up in my head. I'm going 2.5 laps. He's right around that 2-second mark.
Let's see what this lap looks like for Miles Rowe. Does he have the chance to go by Kiko Porto to get his first win?
What a storyline that would be.
Impressive. Waiting for those drivers to work their way back out here once again. As Miles Rowe up on the wheel, but look at behind him. Is that Verdanovic?
Yeah.
Peter Verdanovic potentially coming in to mess up with this. Michael Myers in the pit lane. They put stickers on Michael Myers as well. Verdanovic trying to close back up. He'll be able to go right by here. Indeed, he does. Verdanovic is going to go by on the inside of turn 1. Those slick tires rolling right by him. Last time by, Rowe just 0.3 of a second quicker, 1.7 back, 2 laps to go. Will likely come up short, but may get some help here potentially from Verdanovic.
Yeah. And good job on Miles not to fight that. He knew that wasn't for position.
Agreed.
He let him go by. If anything, he's going, thanks for the help. Let's go get him.
Good scrap here as well between Spike Kohlbecker, Josh Pearson, and Christian Brooks. Kohlbecker stepping up here. But it is Miles Rowe trying to close up on Kiko Porto. The interloper there, the lap car of Peter Verdanovic, about to not be lapped as he's going to be able to get by Porto, no doubt, on the front straightaway. Does he do it beforehand? Thinks about going to the inside of 7. Peter, just bide your time here, dude. You don't want to get into the leader here.
Yeah, not just the leader of the race, the championship leader.
Trying to clinch a championship this afternoon in race number 3. Good to get that text from Diane Swintel reminding me that it is actually Sunday right now, not Saturday. 2 races, of course, here today. Later on this afternoon, potential for Kiko Porto.
Wow, look at Miles close up. So Peter Verdanovic is gone. Miles within a sniff of the lead here on the final lap.
Yeah, white flag going to fly this time by, and Miles Rowe has closed up significantly here on Kiko Porto. Final lap here. Can Rowe find what he needs to potentially win? Putting all the pressure here on Kiko Porto. You have to think that Verdanovic made a move somewhere that kind of caught Porto off guard a little bit and checked him up. The gap there between first and second.
And if you're Kiko, you're going, okay, I probably haven't raced against Miles a lot. Do I know if he's aggressive? They haven't seen each other much this season, so it's going to be really interesting as he's like right there.
Miles Rowe right with him, folks, coming out of turn number 4 to turn 5. Rowe thinking about trying to get that first win for Force Indy. Final lap of the race here for USF 2000. Porto thinking about staying to the inside, coming over to turn number 6. Rowe all over him right now. Miles Rowe looking to get the win here in tough conditions. Out of 6 into 7. Porto, a little bit of a lean to the inside of the racetrack.
Now, he did Siegel somewhere over in this section off the camera. Let's see if he can do it again to the other D-Force car.
We'll watch them coming back through into turn number 10. Here's the shot.
As we wait. Oh, he did it. Miles Rowe is
He's
in the
through.
lead.
Miles Rowe has got through.
Is in the lead.
Miles Rowe, the pass in turn number 9.
Wow.
The Force Indy driver's gone to P1.
Wow.
Out of the final corners.
Unbelievable.
What a race, folks. Coming on to the front straightaway.
Force Indy, get on the pit wall.
The first win
on
for
the pit
Miles
wall,
Rowe.
Force Indy. What a race.
Miles Rowe wins a last lap pass in turn number 9. And the jubilation on pit lane for Force Indy as Rowe scores the victory. What a team win. What a race for Miles Rowe. Able to come from deep in the field. Rowe started further back in the pack. A tremendous run. 10th place to P1. And Miles Rowe passes Kiko Porto on the final lap over in turn number 9. Comes out with the victory. Unbelievable.
What a race, Rob.
Yeah, Rowe was coming through the field so quickly. Very impressive to watch what he was able to do there. Miles scoring that win. Rowe with the victory. Let's wrap things up with Kiko Porto in second. Third, Nolan Siegel. Fourth, Josh Green. Fifth, Jace Denmark. Sixth was Prescott Campbell. Seventh, Spike Kohlbecker. Eighth, Eli Navarro. Ninth, Christian Weir. And 10th, Christian Brooks. You have to wonder if Kiko saw him coming and said, you know what? I can't risk getting crashed out here right now, and potentially the move came to the inside. May gave it up a little bit easier knowing that he needs the points to win this championship.
I would agree, Rob. I mean, how hard is he willing to fight? Probably he's going, hey, I got a championship to lock up this afternoon. I don't know where D'Orlando is, but I can't see him. Good for points.
Yeah, the gap right now, the points now 51 points for Kiko Porto. But a tremendous last lap pass, and let's just put that body of work over the last maybe 6 or 7 laps for Miles Rowe, able to get by first Prescott Campbell when he was trying to make that move to get by Josh Green. Impressive run. Miles Rowe with the win in the number 99. Kiko Porto second, Nolan Siegel third, Josh Green fourth, Jace Denmark rounding out the top 5. It's time to go to Tatis Victory Lane. Force Indy getting the victory, Parker. What a tremendous drive for Miles Rowe.
What a tremendous drive. We'll leave it at that, Rob. I'll let you get down to Victory Lane to celebrate.
Working their way here into Victory Lane as well. The excitement, the jubilation, the celebration for Miles Rowe here in Victory Lane. I'm telling you, those Cooper tires held up pretty good on that machine. Those treaded rain in tough conditions. The little bit of sprinkle here, I think, there is still a mist, is probably what held up Dylan Christie from getting his way forward. Christie, of course, came in for tires and was able to work his way back up through, but what a run here for Miles Rowe, the win in the number 99. Definitely a weird one for sure. Kiko Porto and Nolan Siegel on the podium as well in second and third. Crew finally working their way in here to congratulate Miles Rowe on his victory. Kiko Porto, of course, a big result for him as well. Second spot now, 51 points in the lead for Porto. He'll look to clinch this afternoon in race number 3. But the celebration continuing down here in victory lane for Miles Rowe. Finally taking the helmet off. Started 10th position, as I said, worked his way forward, got himself into the top 6. Knife forward there, finally able to get through, got by Josh Green, and then reeled in Nolan Siegel, and then of course was able to get all the way up to Kiko Porto as well. What a race in USF 2000. One more still to come this afternoon. The final race of the triple header here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Kiko Porto with an opportunity to potentially clinch the championship. So we'll get Miles to come and join us over here on the side of the stage and get things underway with our podium presentation. Team principal Rod Reed now into victory lane with Miles as well. Incredible victory for Miles here today at USF 2000. So we'll bring Miles over here to victory lane and into the side of the podium so we can get things underway here. Trophies to award. Dane Anderson from Anderson Promotions is going to help us out here today to provide the trophies for the drivers. Receiving congratulations now from the fellow drivers here at the podium. Let's get things underway, folks. The Cooper Tires USF 2000 Grand Prix here at NJMP. Finishing in 3rd spot today for D-Force Racing, Nolan Siegel. Dane Anderson going to help us out. Awards presented. Great run for Nolan. The weirdest race he's ever run, Nolan said. Very tough, of course, with the tires. Excellent drive for Rowe. Nolan Siegel, tremendous for 3rd spot. Good job, Nolan. Finishing in 2nd spot, crucial finish to potentially clinch the championship this afternoon. P2 for D-Force Racing, Kiko Porto. Folks, we knew that the wet weather was going to provide us with a very interesting storyline, and it definitely delivered. What a run from 10th spot, folks. His first win in the road in Indy. A round of applause for Miles. Whoa! Let's bring the trophy up. Mom and Dad. Excellent run from Miles. I'll hop up there. We'll have a quick chat. Miles, come on down here with me in the front here. You're a little too tall. Come on down here. Do what a run. Started 10th position. You obviously knew you had a car to start moving forward midway through. Just talk about how good it was and how tough it was out there as well.
I mean, I just can't express enough how grateful I am to have such a wonderful team behind me. The support, the love in Road Tandy, I mean, it's really kept me going, and there's no other place I'd rather be. And you know, it was a crazy race. You know, you have expectations and things like that, but obviously you want to go for the win. And it was just crazy that we got there, man. Like, we weren't in 10th, but we pulled through, and Raul and all the guys just gave me such an incredible car, man. They gave me an incredible car to just take this win, and I just can't say thank you enough. Like, it's just extraordinary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
One more time for Miles Rowe, folks. Get back up on top. Tremendous drive for Miles Rowe today. Kudos to everyone at Force Indy as well. We'll get those trophies up in the air, guys, for us here, please. What a run. Great job for the two D-Force drivers, Kiko Porto and Nolan Siegel. Not able to hold back a charging Miles Rowe at the end of that one, though. Porto, great result for him. As I said before, an opportunity to potentially clinch the championship this afternoon before we head to Mid-Ohio in the final round of the season. So again, folks, Champagne ready to go. They've got one more race to do, so that Champagne's going straight out. What a day here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, folks. Once again, the winner today, Miles Rowe, scored the victory. Kiko Porto in second, Nolan Siegel in third. Rain starting to come back here trackside as well. It's going to be wet potentially for the rest of the day. We'll see how it all plays out, but the bottom line is the storyline here was a good one. A big victory for Miles Rowe.